No one thought this guy would catch a fox. It was pretty impressive. I was still debating if braised or steamed would taste better. Unexpectedly, he released the fox right away. Wow, he doesn't eat any food he finds. The woman next door also doesn't catch food when she comes across it. She's always thinking about petting them, especially rabbits. Her dad set up a dozen traps. In the end, they only caught a few. The whole family really needs to be together. Is this what they call karma? Nature truly supplies their sustenance. What would you crave in their shoes? The challenge is now at day 35. Mark gave a tour of his shelter on camera, revealing a stash of smoked meat, jerky, and other resources. He's living quite comfortably. His favorite part is the fireplace. He made sure to take fire safety measures. No matter how many sparks fly, it won't ignite the shelter. Where do you think Mark's little cabin ranks among the contestants? Time to gather food. With snow on the ground, tracking and hunting are ideal. But it also covers the frozen berries. His main food source is still fish, but the gill net isn't working well. He's thinking of setting rabbit traps. If that fails, it's back to dried fish. How long can his body endure this? But he must stay optimistic and enjoy the wilderness survival. I think Mark is hungry every day. How can he feel any joy? The traps are somewhat useful, at least he can see the fur. But a fox came by to eat and left it sent Mark. Wow, it really thinks the rabbits are for it. Maybe he should go after the fox instead. It's day 36 now, and Roland is clearly in the lead. She eats beef every day. You can even smell the roast beef. Roland didn't waste anything back then. Now she's eating the bull testicles, known as a man's energy booster. If treated right, the skin can be turned into a bag. It could even be used as a hat. She didn't add any seasoning, just boiled it and ate it. She feels like she could hunt a bear now. There's still plenty of edible parts left, but she already ate the best one, the tongue. The tenderloin is especially tasty when roasted. It would taste even better with bread. Roland's not worried about hunger now, just bears stealing her food. Eat as much as you can and rest up. Life's pretty comfy this way. Now, let's look at Joel next door. He seems a bit out of it, not sure how much food he's got, but in terms of crafting, he's definitely ahead of the others. See, he's making another bowl. This tree is perfect for it. Joel thinks as long as he has enough food, it's fine. No need to spend too much time on it. Better to spend more time crafting. He can take these home as souvenirs and gifts. It's funny, others are here to survive, but Joel's here to do crafts. Now, she's struggling to carry the wood, mainly because she's eating too little. Her calves are starting to cramp. Surviving in the wild isn't for everyone. Now, she can only stop and rest for a while until she feels a bit better. Joel resumes crafting wooden bowls. She's much weaker now than when she first arrived. Back then, she could whip up these bowls in no time. Now, she gets winded after chopping for a bit and feels she needs a good rest afterward. Besides being physically tired, the hardest part is missing her family. Even when she stays focused and busy, she can't stop her mood from getting worse. The wooden bowl still needs to be slowly burned with charcoal. Joel poured his time and energy into it, working tirelessly through the night. Suddenly, he heard a noise outside. Worried an animal was taking his food, he rushed outside. Sure enough, there was a thief. This made Joel furious. The wolf wasn't afraid at all, eating slowly right in front of him. It took a while for the wolf to leave. Joel immediately checked the food, hoping not much was eaten. He took down all the remaining meat. Wow! The wolf ate about 10 pieces of fish. Now, this is all he has left, with bite marks still visible. The more Joel dwelled on it, the angrier he became. He felt an urge to hunt immediately. Food wasn't a concern before, but now, he has to find a way to get some meat and prevent the wolf from stealing again. Protecting stored food is really tough. It's smarter to eat more now. On day 37, Roland is also anxious about her food getting eaten. She plans to use cow brain to treat her gloves. In such harsh weather, she's afraid the gloves might crack. Every part needs an even coat. This makes them smoother and even usable as skin cream. It suits the skin nicely. Some might wonder why she doesn't cook it, but Roland has enough meat. She doesn't lack cow brain. She feels everything is going well, except for the wandering black bears. The conditioning is paying off. She can now build a food storage area for safety and stability. It's best to make a small cabin-like structure. It requires a lot of materials and needs to be built at the shelter's original spot. Only someone like Roland, fueled by daily meat, can handle such a big project. Others just can't. Still, this job is truly tiring. I have to admit, the structure looks solid. The base is packed with logs, ensuring no animals can get in. Just gather more wood, and any unused parts can be used as firewood. Roland is beginning to miss her family. It's her first long time away from home, and she can't even call them. She wonders how they're doing. Her spirits are dipping. She needs to quickly finish this. She's worried Roland might miss home too much and quit. The half-built structure looks decent. It just needs a roof to be done. The inside is spacious. All the meat can fit inside, but she's unsure if it can withstand bears. Roland plans to secure it tightly. She's unsure which animal might steal the meat, but she might use some as bait. If a wolf enters, it will lock. It sounds pretty intriguing. She needs to quickly finish this storage cabinet. So far, it's been smooth sailing. She stores all the meat, which should last a month. She'd love to invite others over if she can. Everyone could eat beef and chat together. Surviving alone in the wild is really boring. She can only keep busy with work. This place is almost done. Roland has spent a lot of time and effort on it. She hopes it works better than expected. On the 38th day of the challenge, Mark feels he's lost too much weight. Now he's a bit dazed. He advises against coming here to lose weight, as it's easy to harm your body. It's better to do it gradually. Before winter, resources were quite abundant. You could pick berries and catch fish. But now, there's nothing left. Even bears are rarely seen. I can only check the traps. On my way, I found some moss. These are decent food, but the most important thing is to eat meat. Unexpectedly, the trap caught a fox. I wonder if anyone has ever eaten fox meat. What does it taste like? Mark was really torn about it. He wasn't keen on eating the fox. After some thought, he chose to release it. The fox feared for its life. It struggled, but couldn't escape. Mark made sure it wasn't hurt and let it go right away. He hoped the fox wouldn't get caught again. What would you do with it? Mark moved on to check the other traps. Unexpectedly, he caught a rabbit. It was quite big. It seemed the fox was trying to steal food and got caught. Thinking about it, maybe he shouldn't have let it go. Next, he checked Sai Wang's side. He felt he did a good deed today. So, Sai Wang had some success too. Mark felt things were looking up. He was so happy he was speechless. It was time to head back and eat. Glancing at Joel's area, he noticed something missing in the corner. He decided to build a small box for storing fish to keep them safe from wolves. Using a stick, he started digging. It had to be about a foot deep, then he'd cover it with snow and spruce branches. Voila, a simple refrigerator. It was almost done. Next, he used wooden stakes for support. After all this work, he was almost exhausted. Now, just standing made him dizzy, and he feared he might faint. He gathered spruce branches and wove them around the stakes. He packed it tightly with snow to keep the fish safe from thieves. The final result looked pretty solid. He even weighed it down with stones, confident the meat was secure. Now, he needed to gather more food to stockpile. And there's the firewood. It took a lot of time to chop it every day. It also needed to be dried before use. Before arriving, he knew it would be tough, but he didn't realize just how hard. If not for the $1 million prize, he would have gone back to sleep a long time ago. As long as he could get through this period, things would get better. He said that, but his body couldn't hold up. Fortunately, I avoided the rocks. Standing up now feels draining. My body is weaker than I expected. I might actually need someone to carry me home. On day 39, Jillian survived another day. I really want to eat something to celebrate. I keep imagining the smell of bread. When I woke up, my hand was still gripping the bow tightly. I'm always anxious about something going wrong. If this keeps up, I'll lose it. I need to check if there's any food outside. Jillian noticed more moose tracks. If she could hunt one, her life would be much more comfortable. Although the chances aren't great, she still has to try her best. Let's check the traps. She walked the whole way without spotting any rabbit tracks, and the traps remained untouched. Jillian's mood kept worsening. She desperately needs food. Without it, there's no way to win the prize. Now, she can only rely on her bow to try hunting. Let's see if she can find anything. After wandering around, she returned to the shelter empty-handed. Jillian couldn't hold it in anymore. She broke down in front of the camera, crying loudly. She felt she had tried her best. Since winter began, she hasn't managed to find any food. She can't figure out why. If only her husband were here. He'd definitely fix the food issue. Missing him made her even sadder. Meanwhile, her neighbor was much more laid back. He still had the mood to play with small animals. They were so cute that he wanted to take them home as pets. He tried to reach out and touch one. Just as he was about to, the little guy got scared and ran away. What a pity. Having no other option, he searched for rabbits. He noticed many animal tracks near the traps and felt hopeful about catching one. He wasn't concerned about the remaining contestants. You need to survive 100 days to win. If no one does, the show would profit. The traps were somewhat useful. He caught a rabbit. If he could catch one every day, he felt he still had a chance. Unexpectedly, another trap caught one too. He thought it must be the little guy bringing him luck. He wouldn't have to worry about food for a few days. Just when he thought he had enough, the traps caught another rabbit. Just as he was about to celebrate, he saw another one. Wow, he caught 4 rabbits in one go. The most important thing for a family is to be together. Cowley is now fixated on eating rabbit meat. Food has been scarce since entering the cave, but this time, the rabbit catch is plentiful. He feels he must show gratitude for nature's gift and focus more on survival, avoiding distractions. On the 40th day, Yua is getting weaker, despite having meat daily. But it's not helping much. Her homesickness is intensifying, and she's thinking about quitting. At night, hunger keeps her awake, and her calves cramp painfully. Her body and mind are nearing collapse. Yua doubts she can last 100 days, but quitting now feels wasteful. She decides to leave after eating the remaining dried fish. If the wolves don't take it, she might still manage to hang on. Suddenly, a sharp pain hits her stomach. Joel had assured his wife he'd return if he got sick. Now, he feels it's time to contact the show's team. Since the wolves attacked his camp, Joel has noticeably weakened and had a feeling he might have to quit, but he didn't think it would be this soon. The show then focuses on Joel, known for crafting souvenirs in his spare time. He can craft various items, but his health is failing. He needs a thorough checkup at the hospital. He dreads returning and causing his family concern. Joel believes he had a solid shot at winning, especially with his cozy shelter. Despite the wolves taking his food, he had enough for several days. Given another chance, he would surely last longer if given another chance. With Yua gone, 6 participants are left. Roland seems to have a clear edge. No one else is going to hunt a cow, right? The camera then shifts to Mark, who gazes at a photo of his son, feeling a deep longing. Contestants often quit when they miss their families too much. Mark is eager to return and see his son. He wonders if his son can say dad yet. Despite the heavy snow, he plans to carve a toy horse for his son today. This piece of wood is perfect. He sketches the outline first, then removes the excess parts. Mark is determined to win the $1 million prize for his son's better future. The crafting is manageable, but the wood is thick and tough to cut. He has to chip away at it slowly. Mark works until nightfall. Finally, he carved out the little horse. It just needed a bit more polishing. Mark felt quite pleased with himself. Suddenly, he saw sparks ignite his shelter. The flames spread quicker than he expected.